Hi, just come across this article on a newspaper article from Georgia Strait. Government trolls use psychology-based influence techniques in social media. From the 3rd of July 2015. You know, surveillance, big brother propaganda, watching. Have you ever come across someone on the internet that you suspected was a paid government troll? Well, there is a very good chance that you were not imagining things. Thanks to Edward Snowden, we now have solid proof that paid government trolls are using psychology-based influence techniques on social media websites such as YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. Documents leaked by Snowden also reveal that government agents have been conducting denial-of-service attacks excuse me, flooding social media websites with thinly veiled propaganda, and have been purposely attempting to warp public discourse online. If we do not stand up and object to this kind of Orwellian behaviour, it is only going to get worse and worse. In the UK, the Joint Threat Research Intelligence Group, JTRIG, is a specialised unit within the Government Communications Headquarters, GCHQ. If it wasn't for Edward Snowden, we probably still would never have heard of them. This particular specialised unit is engaged in some very questionable online activities. The following is an excerpt from a recent piece by Glenn Greenwald and Andrew Fishman. Though its existence was secret until last year, JTRIG quickly developed a distinctive profile in the public understanding. After documents from NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden revealed that the unit had engaged in dirty tricks, like deploying sexual honey traps, designed to discredit targets, launching denial-of-service attacks, to shut down internet chat rooms, pushing veiled propaganda onto social networks and generally warping discourse online. We are told that JTRIG only uses these techniques to go after the bad guys. But precisely who are the bad guys? It turns out that their definition of who the bad guys are is quite broad. Here is more from Glenn Greenwald and Andrew Fishman. JTRIG's domestic and law enforcement operations are made clear. The report states that the controversial unit currently collaborates with other agencies, including the Metropolitan Police, Security Services, MI5, Serious Organised Crime Agency, SOCA, Border Agency, Revenue and Customs, HMRC, and National Public Order and Intelligence Unit, MPOIU. The document highlights that key JTRIG objectives include providing intelligence for judicial outcomes, monitoring domestic extremist groups such as the English Defence League by conducting online WHOMINT, denying, deterring or dissuading criminals and hacktivists, and deterring, disrupting or degrading online consumerism of stolen data or child porn. Particularly disturbing to me is the phrase domestic extremist groups. What does someone have to say or do to be considered an extremist? For example, the English Defence League is a non-violent street protest movement in the UK that is strongly against the spread of radical Islam and Sharia law in the UK. That's more just propaganda bullshit there to me, if you ask me that, so take notice of that. So if they are extremists, how many millions upon millions of ordinary citizens in the United States would fit that definition? When conducting operations against extremists, psychology-based influence techniques are among the tools that JTRIG use to combat them online. The following comes from one of the documents that was posted by Greenwald and Fishman. Psychology-based influence techniques. Theories and research in the field of social psychology may prove particularly useful for informing JTRIG's effects and online WHOMINT operations. The following topics will be particularly relevant for social influence. Social cognition, including social perception and attribution. Attitudes, persuasive communications, conformity, obedience, interpersonal relationships, trust and distrust, psychological profiling. In addition, the application of social psychological ideas to marketing and advertising will be useful. In other words, these government trolls try to mess with people's minds. And here is another document that was posted by Greenwald and Fishman that talks about how JTRIG use YouTube, Facebook and Twitter to accomplish their goals. Operation methods / techniques. All of JTRIG's operations are conducted using cyber technology. Staff described a range of methods, techniques that have been used to date for conducting effects operations. These included Uploading YouTube videos containing persuasive communications to discredit, promote, distrust, dissuade, deter, delay or disrupt. Setting up Facebook groups, forums, blogs and Twitter accounts that encourage and monitor discussion on a topic to discredit, promote, distrust, dissuade, delay, deter or disrupt. Establishing online aliases / personalities who support the communications or messages in YouTube videos, Facebook groups, forums, blogs, etc. Establishing online aliases and personalities who support other aliases. Sending spoof emails and text messages from a fake person or mimicking a real person to discredit, promote, distrust, dissuade, deceive, deter, delay or disrupt. Providing spoof online resources such as magazines and books that provide inaccurate information to disrupt, delay, deceive, discredit, promote, distrust, dissuade, deter or denigrate / degrade. Providing online access to uncensored material to disrupt. Sending instant messages to specific individuals giving them instructions for accessing uncensored websites. Setting up spoof trade sites or sellers that may take a customer's money and or send customers degraded or spoof products to deny, disrupt, degrade, degenerate, delay, deceive, discredit, dissuade or deter. Interrupting, i.e. filtering, deleting, creating or modifying communications between real customers and traders to deny, disrupt, delay, deceive, dissuade or deter. And we see plenty of all this going on. Taking over control of online websites to deny, disrupt, discredit or delay. Denial of telephone and computer service to deny, delay or disrupt. Hosting targets online communications / websites for collecting SIGINT to delay, disrupt, deter or deny. Contacting host websites asking them to remove material to deny, disrupt, delay, dissuade or deter. It is very disturbing to think that some of the people that we may be interacting with on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter are actually paid government agents that are purposely trying to feed us propaganda and misinformation. And of course this kind of thing does not just happen in the United Kingdom. In Canada it has been publicly admitted that the government uses paid trolls to warp internet discourse. The following comes from Natural News. You've probably run into them before. Those seemingly random antagonisers who always end up diverting the conversation in an online chat room or article comment section away from the issue at hand. We get a lot of this. I've experienced this with these trolls loads of times. So that just shows you who they are. In an online chat room or article comment section away from the issue at hand. And towards a much different agenda. Hot button issues like illegal immigration, the two-party political system, the war on terror, and even alternative medicine are among the most common targets of such attackers, known as internet trolls or shills, who in many cases are nothing more than paid lackeys hired by the federal government, or the whatever government they work for, which is probably most of the governments in the world, and other international organisations to sway and ultimately control public opinion. Several years ago, Canada's CTV News aired a short segment about how its own government had been exposed for hiring secret agents to monitor social media and track online conversations, as well as the activities of certain dissenting individuals. This report, which in obvious whitewashing language referred to such activities as the government simply weighing in and correcting, allegedly false information posted online, basically admitted that the Canadian government had assumed the role of secret online police. And it's not just the Canadian government. In my opinion, it's all governments that are doing this. You can actually watch a video news report about what is happening up in Canada right here. I'll leave a link to this so you can have a look at that if you want. See, I don't know if it's still going to be there. We'll have a look. Needless to say, the US government is also engaged in this kind of activity as well. For instance, the US government has actually been caught manipulating discourse on Reddit and editing Wikipedia. When it comes to spying, there is nobody that is off limits for our spooks. It just came out recently that we even spied on 3 French presidents, and they are supposed to be our friends. And just like the UK, the US government has a very broad definition of extremists. This has especially been true since Barack Obama has been in the White House. If you doubt this, please see my previous article entitled 72 Types of Americans that are considered potential terrorists in official government documents. All of this is very disturbing to me. Why can't they just leave us alone and let us talk to one another? Why do they have to spy on everything that we do and purposely try to manipulate public discourse? Why do they have to be such control freaks? What do you think? Please feel free to join the discussion by posting a comment below. This article just first appeared here at the Economic Collapse blog. Michael Snyder is a Christian writer, speaking activist. Follow him on Twitter here. Show 2 comments, and it's just adverts in. I'm going to leave a link to this description if anyone wants to go and have a look. But I agree with this wholeheartedly. I've seen this sort of thing happening. All this sort of stuff here. Psychology-based influence techniques. This stuff here. About establishing online aliases and personalities. Setting up Facebook groups, YouTube and stuff to do all that. Let me do a bit gone. Spoof trade sites or sellers, people selling stuff for flat earth and stuff, and doing stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's been a few that have been found out to be frauds and stuff. You know what I mean? They're doing that on purpose, I believe. Thanks for listening.